Let's kick this off. It's the Deoceide podcast. Yeah.
Please.
I'm going to be your one and only host, the one and only Rankonius. Filled with puns, gorgeous looks, not really, and occasional nice quips. The rest of the time, you're going to get some slight slurry, but these guys are here to back that all up. Joining me, Callum the Machine, McCall.
Hello.
Matthew Topnotch Daily.
Hey, yo.
Is it the drums you play in your band?
It is.
It is. He's on the drums, guys, for us tonight. Josh Knightfall, and now I've lost you, Campbell. Bam!
Hello, how are we doing?
And finally, rounding us out, the victorious, the one and only Sporks. AV Sporks. Hi. Wow. Big win. Big win on the weekend. How you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Could have been bigger if Hedoro didn't have to forfeit, but...
Yeah, I think that we were all pretty sad the way it ended, but it was still a good day. Like, you guys played really well.
I think it was just a cursed tournament. We didn't even get to verse Knights of Honor in the first round, so...
Wow, yeah, you guys got, 2 forfeits, Jesus. Lucky.
And still first.
I'd prefer to prove that we can beat everyone than take forfeits.
Yeah, I'm actually going to organize a one-day tournament for 2 weeks from now. 5v5s. Just because, like, you were talking about it earlier, Sporks. You guys don't have much time to, like, play against other people.
Yeah, I mean...
Because of the invite ladder.
Yeah.
Apparently a lot of people are getting lag.
Is it?
Apparently.
Quite a few people.
Lower the bit rate.
What are we
Do you know what the bitrate is?
Yeah.
It's currently, like, 1600.
That's
We're
not
gonna
a huge amount.
Might be just worth dropping it at 1200 just for tonight.
Okay.
I mean, like, you don't
Okay.
really need a high quality for a podcast.
Not really.
I know our faces are blurry.
Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming, guys, but we will be right back.
Alright.
Okay, we're still recording those, so for continuity's sake on the...
You know what's really awesome about XSplit is in the new version, you can actually lower the bitrate without having to stop streaming.
Oh my
Wow, that's
god.
On the fly bitrate adjustments. It's incredible.
We're back, by the way.
Yeah, I was doing it on our first game. Since we're back, I'll just say it again. XSplit, the recording software, which is not free unlike OBS, you actually can lower bitrate or increase bitrate settings as well during the broadcast. You don't have to close the stream,
Alright.
which is cool.
Yeah.
Because like whenever you close the stream, even though you're like, "Hey guys, I'll be back in like 2 minutes," you lose like half your viewers. Your stream's offline, so that sucks.
Yep.
Anyways.
Especially when half your viewers are bots, like they used to be for me. It's just like, yeah, I'm professional. Oh, they're all bots. Screw it. Anyway, so Sporks played solidly on the weekend. That's where we were at. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very fun. I mean, just playing Smite in general was fun.
And I mean, you guys have just been picked up by Avant Garde. That's obviously huge for you guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we wanted that from the start, so it's always nice to get our dream sponsor.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this chat.
All right.
You guys see
That's
what-
Ranks listen. Okay. Let's try and stick on topic. Okay, so how did you feel about the match against Trident going up against who was in solo for? Was it
Tompo.
Tompo, that's it.
Yes.
I felt very confident going in because Bakasura just is OP. OP, but he just wins a lot of matchups, and being able to win the lane, rotate, gives me a lot of confidence. But we did lose one match, which was unfortunate, but it's always nice to keep high spirits. If you get down after one match, that just sets your momentum back from the start, and it's just not good. So having just keeping the attitudes up keeps the momentum going. So
Definitely.
So how did you guys sort of do that? Was it just maybe tell a joke, just something to refresh sort of the atmosphere? Because like you said, like I think one of the most important things in esports is actually making sure in a best of 5 series or even a best of 3 series, just keeping that morale going.
trying not to focus on mistakes and just saying that, all right, it's one mistake, we can come back from it. We just have to focus up. So just doing that every time we make a mistake, or just congratulating people when they do good, it just keeps the spirits up.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's good. Good to hear you guys aren't like targeting people and raging, because like that's the worst thing when you get a team. Because I've managed a bunch of teams over the course of things, and it's just like when you get one team and they're really good together, and then at the end of a game and they lost the first game of best of three series. Oh, why did you do that? Why'd you do that? It's really good to hear that you guys aren't like that. So
Yeah.
Mm.
That's why you need a coach, because that's objective criticism. If it's one player criticizing another, then they get like very defensive, and it's like, yeah, but you did this wrong as well. Yeah, but you did this wrong. Whereas if it's someone looking out, then no one's going to be offended by them.
Another thing is that everyone on the team is very open to criticism, where it's like, so you did say, oh, you did this wrong. They'll be like, yeah, okay, I can work on that to fix it. It's not, they just don't go like back and forth and argue about who's right, who's wrong.
Hmm. I was playing with you and Biggie on Friday, and you guys are at such a friendly point where you guys just take shots at each other so much,
Yep,
but
pretty
you
much.
you just brush it off and you're like, man, you suck. No, you suck. Actually,
It's
no,
always
this is
nice
for
to
you.
have a bit
Yeah,
of
it's,
banter between each other.
yeah, which is good. Like your your synergy as teammates is that good that nothing can really break it, which is really awesome to like see, especially in like Smite esports.
It's always nice to think of the teammates as teammates, but also as friends.
Yeah.
You can just be close to one another.
yeah, I mean, Notch, you can sort of comment on that one with I believe it's Mason, lives just down the road from you or something.
Yeah, me and Mason have been pretty much like best friends. Well, not really best friends. We've been really, really close friends since like high school. We like played competitive Halo together. Now we're playing competitive Halo Smite together, and I know just being friends that long, you kind of really don't really like. We get mad at each other, obviously, but it's like it means nothing, you know. Like we're always going to be best friends at the end of it. It's good to have that kind of relationship within a team and all your other team members.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for you guys and your best friends on the rest of the team, important announcement this week. Obviously, all of the top 4 teams from the Cybergamer finals are going into an invitational only ladder, which is really, really cool. Opens it up to everyone else. But more importantly than that, you guys have almost stepped forward into the next part of your Oceanic Smite scene with the reveal on the splits for this year. How excited are you guys to see this stuff starting to come out and actually have something physically to aim towards now?
It's really nice to actually gonna shed some light on what's going to be happening. So seeing all of that just knows we know that how much work we have to put in and that we have to dedicate to this, and we can't be fooling around anymore, that it's really serious, and then we have to knuckle down and just work.
I think it shows how serious Oceania is now. Like, we kind of knew there was going to be a pro league kind of thing, like similar to NA, and then we kind of knew also about like a final event that would seal the fate of one team going to America next year. But like now it's set in stone that like there is an actual pro league that's like pretty much the same thing as NA, and like it's like serious competition to get that first spot to go to Worlds next year.
Mhm. It's because I knew about this before everyone else, and like I was saying in the pre-show, I just really wanted to tell people about it, but I couldn't, obviously. And then when it was finally said, I was like, oh, now I don't have to. I can actually have a conversation with someone about this. This is actually awesome. Seeing what Hi-Rez has got in store for Oceania is so good, considering the servers came out last year. Like, we're guaranteed a spot at Worlds when the servers came out a year ago. Like, that is awesome.
That surprised me a lot as well. I thought that they would have given us a year and a bit to kind of figure out the servers, figure out teams, but they just wanted to get us there, so.
Yeah, and the fact that we're all involved in it, everyone is involved in it, is like so awesome. Like, even if you're just a viewer, that is something that like it's hard to fathom how awesome it is. Like, you can't really put it into words.
And I think something else that we're going to see as well is no matter who that team is, the entire region as a whole is going to come together and go, okay, so for example, Topnotch, Sporks' team makes it, AV makes it to Worlds. You guys are going to go and make sure that they're representing us on the best stage. You're going to be there trying to offer them advice, coaching and whatnot, work with them wherever you can. I'm sure that's going to come out from like everyone, and that's crucial to a scene going forward because that could open up to 2 slots next year or something like that, and the region will all be supportive of that. And that's going to be important for you guys, yeah?
Yeah, that one team that goes to Worlds is going to be like Australia's team. Like everyone's going to be rooting for that one team at Worlds, and that's going to be insane having a whole nation behind one team.
Yeah.
In like an international stage. That's going to like imagine being that team. That would just be incredible for like feeling that support behind you.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we had at IEM, Team Vox for Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah.
The fanboy was insane.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
remember they
it's
had
not
like
even- You can go.
oh, sorry. They had like a line at like doing autographs and stuff, and it was like a half an hour line just to get an autograph from one of the Vox guys I heard at IAM, which is insane for like Australian players in a foreign country.
And it's not just Australians, they were such likable characters that a lot of people were saying how cool they were, that it was awesome that they were representing such a small country, not a small country, but a small scene.
Small population.
And going back to that one team, the competition is going to be insane leading up to the SPL, during the SPL, and then at regionals. I think that'll be where the best games in Oceanic are going to happen. And then all of that competition is, like you said, going to turn into support. Everyone who is like, I want that spot, is going to go, oh, I'm a bit bummed we lost, but now let's support this team. And everyone's going to focus on that team and be like, this is our representative team.
All right, well, it's time to sit down and actually chat about some of all the details that's going to be in. So we're going to have 2 splits this season. In split number 1, we're going to have a play-in period, focusing on finding the best teams to form the Oceanic Pro League. There will be 3 streams leading into a Pro League qualifier tournament. So the 4 ways that you and everyone should be a part of this, everyone that's interested in Smite, because there are so few teams here right now, you could... the other team you play just kind of have a snap bad decision, and all from the sudden of that, you can end up in a pro slot. It is that close right now with some of the teams. So, give it a crack. Right, 4 ways for you guys to participate. Open ladder starts on March the 30th. Open online ladder run in partnership with Cybergamer. Basically what's just happened, what we've just had the first season end. Any team can join at any time. Every team on that ladder will fight it out for top ladder positions over the course of the first ladder season, and the best teams will gain entry into the Pro League qualifier tournament. This is a place for new teams to form and evolve without being dominated by the established leaders of the pack. I think this is very crucial, is that you 4 that have obviously already received your invite to the invitational ladder, you guys won't be playing, and that allows the scene to expand.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives room for all those teams that were kind of in the top 8, not quite in the top 8, to kind of like affirm their position into like going into like the Pro League and the fights to get into the Pro League and that kind of thing. It's a really good opportunity for all those teams that were just below the top 4.
Pretty much it. All right, step 2 is going to be an invitational ladder. Starts on April the 19th. A restricted online ladder run in partnership with Cybergamer. Top 8 teams who have proven themselves the early leaders of the competition so far will play in a round-robin best-of-3 league. To determine the invites, 4 teams qualify from the finals of the open ladder, which have obviously just been run. So that's Silicon, AV, Tyroi, and Trident are going to be those 4 teams that have already qualified for that ladder. The remaining 4 teams will qualify in a last chance one-day tournament on April the 12th. The top 4 teams from this invitational ladder qualify directly into the Smite Pro League for Split 2. Bottom 4 teams will get a second chance with entry into the Pro League qualifier tournament. Right, so that's basically spelling it out how you guys are going to actually qualify. So you guys have almost guaranteed your spot in that SPL. That's important for you guys right now. You only have to be the top 4 teams in that second league, and you're in the SPL.
The competition is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Very surreal that it's all just happening so fast.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Jons was telling me that I don't know how to word this.
You should probably say who Yons is for those that
Oh,
don't know.
so for
Okay.
those of you who don't know, Jons is basically the admin above me, and he's like he's the one who everyone talks to for Cybergamer, pretty much.
He's
Him,
like
him
a
and one other
general
guy.
admin at
Yeah.
Cybergamer.
Yeah, him and
Yeah,
one
for a
other
lot
guy.
of different games.
Mm.
Yeah. So he was telling me that the contract with Hi-Res that Cybergamer have has been in the works for not very long, but it's still like the fact that it's unraveling how quickly it is amazing. Like the amount of work that has been done already is like insane for what this really is. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And are you guys keen to continue seeing this sort of a relationship run through Cybergamer, or would you like to see it go more higher res? What are you guys as players' opinions of that?
I mean, honestly, I'm not really too fussed about the system right now. I think we have a map of how it's going to get us there. We just have to focus on that. I think Cybergame is doing a great job.
It's good.
Yeah, I think as long as they take the criticism that's been laid out to them, like they're not really difficult problems to fix. As long as they fix those problems that they do have there, it's going to be really smooth, you know, running into the Pro League and then furthermore into PAX.
And
Callum, are
Yeah,
you
and I
keen to
think
see?
people.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say people need to be more forward with the criticism. Again, like if you have a problem, don't make a public whine thread. Like go talk
Yeah,
to someone who
exactly.
actually can see changes happen.
And
there's a few
those
of us.
people to contact are Knightfall. If you're not uncomfortable talking to Knightfall, come and talk to myself or Callum. We can both get in contact with Knightfall or even Yons and make sure that he's up to date. You know, there are the sources in the chains to do so. Berserk DC is always open to these sorts of things, and he can pass them again on to Cybergamer on behalf of you as well.
we read everything. Like I'm always on Smite Reddit reading everything. I read every forum like reply and everything. So yeah.
If you have input, make sure it gets out there.
Yeah,
Alright.
if you feel like something like you want something to change, just tell us and we'll see what we can do about it. So
All right, so the next point is here's where the scene starts to change up a little bit to what we've seen previously. LAN centers and LAN events. A series of tournaments at LAN events and LAN centers. Participating LAN events and LAN centers will host tournaments to find local champions. These teams will qualify for an online one-day LAN winners qualifier tournament to fight exclusively against each other. Top two teams from this tournament will gain spots into the Pro League qualifier tournament. Interesting. Are you guys happy with seeing some LAN teams qualifying to this sort of thing?
I think LANs are going to be awesome. Just like the atmosphere and the experience of playing in person is just incredible. But I'm
Yeah.
very skeptical. I think I've sort of touched up on this a bit earlier, where all of the good teams are well known, and by good I mean everyone that's active, not necessarily like the top teams. And those teams are, as far as I'm aware, entirely split up with different players in different states and different countries, in fact, New Zealand and Australia. I don't know of any team that's all in the one local location that can actually compete at a LAN event. And so there's going to be like teams at these LAN events where it's just like a couple of well-known good players into a couple of randoms or just entirely randoms. And while that's fine, but having them teams qualify for the big Pro League and whatnot, it's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a big skill difference between them.
yeah.
Because they're probably just going to be casual players that love Smite, play a lot of Arena, a lot of Assault, a lot of Joust, maybe a little bit of Conquest every now and again.
I think it'll also be good to find individual skill. There might be one or two people there that will just shine throughout the whole tournament.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a really good point. Like, one player could, like you said, shine, and then like a big team could be like, "Oh man, you're really good. We'd like to pick you up," and then that player can then go on. Like it, all of these things, like the open ladder and the LAN events, and like every section of this year, can lead to great things if you participate and you do your best. Everyone's going to be watching everything. So
Yeah,
do your best somewhere and someone's going to notice and then maybe they'll pick you up.
What I think will be cool about that is I think that there's going to be a lot of Smite players that, again, might be very passionate about Smite, but don't quite realize how big the scene has actually become. Like, our entire scene basically revolves around that Facebook group. And if people aren't in that Facebook group, they have no idea what's going on. And so if we up a lot of people at these LAN events and, we can introduce them to the group, we can get them involved with the scene.
And for each person that
And
you
Reddit.
invite to come play the game as well, that's another person that they'll bring to come play the game as well. So it's a snowball effect that things will get bigger and better. And from that, there'll be bigger and better LAN tournaments with bigger potential prizes and things on the table. So, make sure if you know somebody that's potentially interested in a LAN event or anything like this, get them into the group. Everything is going to be accessible there. So it's the best place to go. Right, and finally, the Pro League Qualifier Tournament, online tournament. This is obviously where the Invitational, Open, and LAN Center and LAN events will be qualifying through to qualify into the SPL. Except for the Invitational ladder, will have 4 spots directly into the SPL. That's the only difference here. The bottom 4 will qualify to the Pro League Qualifier Tournament. Online tournament to determine which teams will be promoted to Pro League and Split 2. Teams will converge from Open and Invitational ladders, as well as the LAN Center and LAN event qualifier tournaments. Top teams will earn a place in the Oceanic Pro League. So this is where it all comes together. This is like, we've got 4 teams picked. We now need another 4 to go along with them. And this is how we decide them. Is this sort of a tournament too stressful on the players, or is it exactly what's required to make sure that the best teams are in that Pro League?
Which, the Pro League qualifier,
Yeah.
was it? Yeah. It's definitely, like you said, like a lot. It's a lot to take in and a lot to do. Wait, sorry. What did you said? Is it too much or exactly what they need? What was that too much part?
Is it too stressful on the players?
Ah,
Like, is
yes.
a one big qualifying tournament where they could potentially lose their spot? Are they going to just overstress on it?
I think it's quite appropriate, really.
Yeah.
Considering that going to Worlds or even getting to PAX is going to be
Yeah.
decided along similar things. I don't think it's really too much of an ask to have it all decided by one tournament. Whereas, because that's pretty much how it is, really. Like that's how competing esports is. That's how it works.
Yeah. Compared to what the actual Pro League will have in store, like in terms of stress levels and like the need to practice and all that, and regionals, then it's like, I know A to Z, right? I don't know how to make words. The stress level in the qualifier will be easy compared to regionals and then actually going to Worlds.
I still get really nervous over small tournaments.
Yeah, but that's like the excitement, isn't it? Like you feel
Yeah.
nervous, and then it's like, oh, I've got to do well, and then isn't that like one of the reasons why you want to play? That's why I love to play Smite. I'm like, oh, I gotta win this game. I gotta win. Like I still do it in a normal conquest game. Like I'll be like, oh, what if I lose? Like even though I'm not gonna lose like anything, I just feel, you know?
Yeah.
That confidence.
Yeah. And then like if I'm not top player damage, then I feel like I've failed myself.
All right, so that's all up Split 1. So that's just for the first half of the year. There is a lot planned right there. Let's move on to the back half of the year. In Split 2, it's going to mirror the structure of Split 1, but the stakes suddenly go up because we're trying to qualify for Worlds here. Yeah, it needs to lift. All right, teams will be fighting to secure a spot in the Oceanic Regional Championship at PAX. What does this one sentence tell us? There is going to be a regional final at PAX. If you weren't hyped for what's going on this year in Smite, you now 100% are. Callum, for us casters, this is just like...
Oh man, yeah. It's basically just the thrill and the rush of being able to cast on stage. I think it's the same for people playing on stage. Is when you're in front of so many people watching you, and you really feed off of the energy. And I've done plenty of LAN events before. Nothing obviously to the scale of PAX, but like RF LAN, for example, where you can just feel all the energy around you. And normally when I'm casting, I like to have like energy drinks or something like that, just to get keen. But when the atmosphere is like that, you're in that mindset. You're so keen, and you cast really well, and then you feel really good, and it just really helps the experience. And I'm sure it's the exact same for playing at a high level.
Oh man, I was actually this is probably the most relevant experience I've actually had. In September, I was in New Zealand, casting live, and we had the teams either side of us directly in front of us on the stage, so we could look over at their screens, we could hear them cheer when one of them did something well, and we'd be like, "Oh man, 3 minutes from now, something cool's gonna happen," and just the way that got us going, and then that got into the crowd, and then the crowd fed that back to the players, then the players fed that back to the crowd, which fed that back to us, is just intense. And there is nothing like a live proper stage setup. There is absolutely nothing like it. And until you guys see it at PAX, when you finally see it at PAX, you're just going to explode, and all of a sudden if you weren't hooked on this as an esport already, you will be.
Definitely.
So what we're trying to say is, if you haven't bought a PAX ticket, do it now.
Yeah, do it.
Speaking of which, I'm
Seriously.
buying mine tomorrow. My mum put through money to my bank account.
And I'm making sure,
I'm just gonna link it.
if anyone wants a hand trying to find accommodation and whatnot, I live in Melbourne. Just flick me a message and I'll see what I can do to try and help you guys out.
And the 3-day pass is still available. I remember last year they sold out really fast.
Yeah, I want mine. Even though
'Cause I don't know what day
cough,
they're
I
gonna
might
be.
be
They
getting
obviously-
flown cough.
They haven't announced the schedule and stuff. I mean, it's probably going to be Saturday, Sunday, because I reckon
Or even,
what
or
might
even
happen.
Friday qualifiers, Saturday qualifiers, Sunday grand final.
Because there's probably going to be, this is just my speculation, probably going to be top 4, and then Saturday is the semi-finals, and then Sunday is the grand final. That's quite possible.
This is a good question. Will OCE regional get streamed? Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
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 Yes. No, probably yes. But for you guys now, from the player's perspective, are you guys hyped to sort of get into an environment where a crowd is going to influence your play? It's going to influence the attitude of your team.
I've watched a couple of videos of smaller Australian teams at PAX, and just thinking that that could be me is actually quite mind-blowing. And just seeing the hype from a screen is just, it's insane. And to think someone could be cheering for me, and someone could have followed me for about 6 months and absolutely love me is just, it's hard to fathom.
I think my team personally, I think it's quite known that we're all very emotional players. I think we're all really excited to be in that kind of environment where we can actually feed off of the crowd's hype and throw it back at the crowd, and just kind of have that interaction with the crowd where we're gonna lose our mind no matter what happens when we're playing, and
Yeah.
that's just gonna be so cool in a LAN setting with thousands of people watching you.
And are you guys keen as well to sort of at the end of a game, no matter what the result is, get up and be able to physically go over and say to your lane opponents, "Well done, man, you outplayed me," or that was such fun, or whatever happened? Are you keen to just sort of interface finally with the guys that you've known online for so long?
Oh, absolutely, it's gonna be really cool to be able to, look over at the guy that you're versing, and at the end of the game be like, "Oh, I hated what you did there. That was such a scummy thing to do." It's just really really exciting to be able to be on that.
Because you guys are
personal level.
opponents. This could be you guys on the Sunday at PAX at the grand final, and Topnotch is going to walk up to you, Sporks, and just be like, "You picked Bakasura again?"
I was kind of hoping that by PAX, Bakasura would be gone from the game. I can only hope. Yeah.
So over Bakasura.
Hate Bakasura.
And then Topnotch will pull out the Kumbhakana solo. And everyone will be like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god!"
I won't need that anymore. I won't need it anymore if Bakasura isn't in the game.
You're just going to go back to being the king of tier, aren't you?
The sick fearlesses.
Oh yeah, can bring some weird stuff back. I missed the meta where weird stuff was viable. That was good.
Yeah, I can't wait. PAX is just gonna be mind-blowing. If you are coming to PAX and you are feeling like you want to do a cosplay, do a cosplay. Because just as well, the amount of people that you're gonna be walking around, and this is not just Smite, this is every game. Last year, if you were a Terra player, do you know how small Terra is? It's a tiny, tiny Korean little game, totally free to play. My fiance and I play it, and we walked around PAX and we spotted two Terra cosplayers walked up to him and were like, "Oh my god, you're cosplaying from Terra," and they were like, "Oh my god, you know what we're doing!" That sort of interaction is going to happen all the time. If you're thinking about it, do it. Smite needs wonderful cosplayers, and Hi-Rez will support you guys as well. All of the army from Hi-Rez are going to come over. I'm sure you'll get some sort of stage time, or you'll get a photo shoot done. That sort of stuff is just really, really rewarding to be able to be a part of as well. You guys, do you have
They're
any
actually-
favorite cosplays you want to see?
I was just saying they had paid cosplayers. They had a Thor, Artemis, and I think Athena.
That sounds about right.
They were like hovering around the booth. I mean, they were paid, so not quite as fun, but it'd be cool to see a lot more of like actual fans.
And it'd be cool to see a Huiyi cosplay. I don't know. I like seeing like massive bows.
My favorite's the
Ron.
Guan Yu, if you've seen the photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Guan. Like, he's got a nice beard, the Guan.
So
Well,
judgmental.
that's what I like, because cosplayers are always so like over petite. Like, look how pretty and beautiful I am, and Guan Yu
Yeah.
is just like, I'm fucking Guan Yu. Whoa.
He just needs a little horse to ride on.
Who's doing a Ra cosplay for me? It'll be the brightest cosplay in the joint. The light will
Please.
really shine on that cosplayer.
Oh my
Please,
goodness. No.
rank.
It might even be so bright that he'll press 2 and blind everyone.
Oh.
Moving on. Patch this week.
There was a patch.
Man,
I
those
just thought it was
puns
puns.
really are quite
Yeah.
a searing pain.
Please. Oh my god.
Internet high five.
Yeah.
Do you guys see what we have to go through every week? Okay,
Right.
so
Knightfall, you were moving us along quite nicely. On to the,
the
patch
patch.
notes.
So we got some highlights. Okay, so the big thing, well, not the biggest thing. One big thing is
Just talked about the packs and like the qualification for Worlds. This could be an Australian team next year. Cog Scylla. Who remembers Stealth Scylla from the grand finals?
Who doesn't?
Cogsilla.
That was stupid.
That's the competitive Scylla.
It was like
Yeah.
unfathomable. That's a word now. It was, I really want the skin. Like, I'm a terrible Scylla. Anyone who knows me, I'm a terrible Scylla. But I still want the skin because it looks pretty awesome.
Which god would you guys like between Sporks and Topnotch? Which god would you, if you guys were to win a world championship, which god would you want a skin for?
I think we'd both say tier, I think, wouldn't we?
Silica tier.
I don't know that. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah. I'd honestly say Loki, but I mean, like, that would be lame, but...
I don't know if I have a favorite god.
You don't have a favorite god? You can
Not
Ra
really.
favorite god.
Let me
Ra,
check your
yeah.
wiki page.
Yeah. I mean, I just put like my diamonds and what's popular in solo.
Chang'e, Bakasura. Yeah, let's have
Either Chang'e or
Bakasura.
Chang'e or Bakasura. Chang'e, Rain Lake, and Avant Garde Cape or something. That'd be great.
Or run around in like one of the AV DX racer chairs, which like Lionberg got this week, and I've been seeing like Snapchats of all week. It's great. It's actually a really cool chair. But,
I'll add
you
a
know.
motor to the DX Racing.
Your wiki page doesn't actually help at all. Favorite gods: Bakasura, Chang'e, Hanbats, Hebo, Guan Yu, and Sun Wukong. Every other player has like 2 or 3, and you've got 6.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so we also have skin tiers. So this is basically the level of modification to the skin, scaling from 1 to 5. So tier 1 will be like recolor skins, like Time Lord Kronos or something like that. And then tier 2 skins. So this is, if you haven't seen it, Valkyrie Freya. It's basically minor changes to the skin, and then a little bit of like ability changes, effects and whatnot. And then tier 3, these are like 400 gems, like Nemesis's Blind Vengeance skin, like 400 gem skins. And then we have 600 gem skins. This is tier 4. So these are the skins with new themes, model changes, major animation changes, new special effects, and always has a custom voice pack dedicated to that skin. That's the 600 gems one. That's like Hebro, sorry, and Elite Agent Apollo, and all that good stuff. And then tier 5 skins. These are like the rarest, like Archon Thanatos and things like that. So yeah, new skin tiers. Pretty cool.
This is, really cool. Sort of standardizes everything, and there's going to be attached gem cost to these guys, is the important part as well. So you know when you pay a certain amount of gems, you're going to get a certain level of content.
And I like the the tier 2 is 250 gems. It's for those people who, they can't really afford gems, such as myself being a poor student, and then but we log in every day and we get the weekly daily bonus of gems. You get 15 on the 6th day and 35 on the 7th day. If you get those enough, you can get 250 gems in, say, a couple weeks. And then you can afford a skin rather than waiting all the way up to 400 to get something. I really like that.
Yeah, that's 5 weeks worth of skin savings, so.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool though. This next session, new accolades. So these are new stuff that you can display at the end of the game. You can go through and go, no scope. I killed an enemy god that I did not have vision of. Hold the line. Awarded for killing an enemy god diving your tower or phoenix. Tower dive. Awarded for killing an enemy god while in the radius of one of their towers without dying to the tower. Objective steal. These are really cool ones. Awarded for killing the fire giant or gold fury when the enemy team did over 50% of damage to it. We saw a lot of these on the weekend, actually.
Yeah.
And revenge. Awarded for killing the god who last killed you. This one's pretty cool as well. It's just like, Bakasura, I'm going to chase you down and get the revenge tab now.
I think my favorite one is the no scope. I'm going to be playing a lot of Ram and just sniping people over walls.
I'm just going to play a lot of Ra.
Just get Soul Reaver and just get them through the wall. Easy.
Does that refer to like a thing that pops up, like when you get like a double kill, like it comes
Yeah.
up?
Yeah,
those badges.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a way of making players just feel really good about themselves, and
Yeah.
there's obviously no downside to that. Like I think it's a really smart thing to do,
I'm still so
especially if
excited.
they have a voice. I think that's going to really help as well. Like if you
Yeah.
do get the no scope and there's actually a little voiceover that says no scope, like that's pretty cool, especially if it's dry bear. Just saying.
And then get maybe like if it comes with the announcer pack as well, like DM or Bart, maybe add something in there. That'd be really hard to implement, but that'd be really cool.
he
if
didn't
they
even
could.
see that guy.
Something
that'd-
like that.
In before
The Rankonius
ranks.
voice pack.
Oh, I'm coming up with one now. I'm gonna just like make a custom voice pack just for lols. That's my mission for the rest of the week. All right, now let's move into some actual numbers and whatnot from the patch. This one is important, obviously not to you guys directly, Topnotch, and obviously Sporks. But hey, your 80 carries are gonna hate this one. Bluestone Pendant, reduce mana regeneration from 4% to 3% of your missing mana regen per second. Is this a perfect balance change that we've all been crying out for?
I never really used Bluestone Pendant. I don't think it's necessary in solo, so I don't really use it. Although I have used it a couple times in Assault, and it never really screamed OP to me, so I don't think it was necessary, but
It just sort of kept hunters sustained for too long, I think. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah, as minimal as it is, like, it's just another hit to early game hunters, which kind of sucks, I guess. I mean, like, it does need that diversity between like early game and late game hunters, but I mean, like, why just let them go now? They've taken enough hits, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see a lot more Artemis and whatnot. So we're
Yeah.
actually going to see that more late game style of hunter already, and that's even before the nerfs to this item. So
Yeah.
be interesting to see where we end up after this patch.
I don't think that they didn't nerf hunters. They just sort of changed the play style in which they play.
Yeah, of
They're
course.
more late game, which is what you really want the hunter to be, like really squishy early game and not amazing amount of damage, but still a decent amount of damage to get by. And then when in the late game, you protect that person, otherwise you're gonna lose the game. pretty much, unless you have Bologna, in which case you're gonna win anyway. um, yeah, that's just my opinion. I mean,
I think any
sorry, you go.
any change that creates meaningful choices, because I think solo lane is the only lane that actually has interesting starter options. You know, do you go Bluestone? Do you go Death's Toll? Do you go just for your first item straight away? Do you go Hog 2, Hog 1? Whereas mid lane isn't that interesting. You start off with I think it's Vampiric Shroud, the sustain item. Jungle, always Boomba's Mask. ADC, always Tier 1 Dev Gauntlet and Bluestone. Like, it's very, very repetitive and predictable, and that's not very exciting. There should always be meaningful decisions in any stage, or at least depending on what god you're playing. So I think that's going to open up Death's Toll more. Like, his Death's Toll just hasn't been used at all in solo duo lane.
True. Yes. That's actually I was gonna try that the other day, but then I completely forgot. And then now that you
Like,
talk,
actually,
so
yeah. I think it's interesting now that Watch's Gift is like becoming a little bit more popular. Like, there's actually seems to be a pretty good split between like Watches and Mark of the Vanguard. It's still obviously favoring Mark of the Vanguard, but at least now you got to sort of think about it. Whereas season 1 it was always Watches. Start of season 2 it was always Mark of the Vanguard, but now there's a bit more variation.
Well, let's touch on that before we go any further. Watcher's Gift. Jungle Camp's now going to trigger the Watcher's Gift passive, which is being within range 60 of a minion death without dealing the killing blow awards, plus 4 bonus gold, and also restores health and mana. So it's going to help out those supports a little bit more.
It'll encourage roaming.
I think it's really good because now Buckus with his buff, so I think he's going to be really good, which I'm glad because I love Buckus.
All right, moving on to the god specific. Oh, sorry, you wanted to touch on that one some more?
just a little bit. I like that Barkus is coming back. Just want to put that in there. Barkus is
The king is back.
yeah. He's a fun god to play, and he's fun to get supported by, which is really fun to see.
I like how they preemptively nerfed his late game, so we don't have a repeat of Jabalanque, where it's like buff early game. Oh wait, his late game's overpowered. Whoops. Whereas with Barkus, like yeah, they've buffed his early game, but they've also toned down his late game. I mean, it's very slight changes. It's not really a huge deal, but they lower the amount of intoxicate he gets from his one. So it's good to see them actually having the foresight. And we'll have to see how it pays off. But Barkus is regarded as having like the strongest late game support. But yeah, his early game is so rough. So if he can get through that early game, it'll be interesting to see how he does pan out in the late game now.
Alright, moving on to the god-specific changes. Anher, Impales no longer reducing damage by 50% after the first target hit. This is obviously aimed at improving his minion clear. You guys think this is a positive change? Any thoughts particularly on this?
Anher is going to be very good now.
Yeah. It's
Very, very good.
It's good that it's not returning to what he was, but it's still giving him room to come back, which is really good. Because Anher's pretty fun. Like when you get the shifting stance impale combo in lane,
Yeah.
it's pretty fun. It's
Yeah,
like
I think,
I hit it.
Especially with the rise of Cupid, and in turn the rise of Artemis being the safe option into Cupid, being that you can ult through the Cupid ult, Anher is just going to be so strong now, being that Anher can counter Cupid and Artemis with his own ultimate. You can counter the Cupid cripple with your own ultimate, and you can counter the Artemis stun with your own ultimate. I think Anher is honestly going to be #1 hunter for the foreseeable future.
I agree.
It'll be comp dependent though, because his late game is going to be so much worse than Artemis. So
Yeah,
you got to sort
true,
of plan
true.
around that.
Cool.
Right, well, moving on to the Bacchus changes that we were just talking about. Chug, his one is now drunkometer gain increased from 22, 28, 34, 40, 46 to 33, 35, 37, 39, 41%. That's obviously per level. So at level 1, it's an 11% increase, and at level 5, it's a 5% decrease on his drunkometer gain. Belch of the Gods, Bacchus is now knock-up immune while channeling this ability. Any touches, thoughts on these sorts of changes?
I think he's
You
going to
kind
be
of
really
said it
good.
earlier, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come back.
Bologna
good.
nerfs, Bologna nerfs, Bologna's nerfs. I have to put an alert
God,
out there.
skill.
Guys, there is
Rip.
warning.
Rip.
Bologna nerf alert. Time 1. Expect to see
Rest.
these nerfs continuing into next patch. We will discuss them further. Alright, starting off, Master of War. Movement speed reduced from 6% to per stack to 3% per stack. Projections reduced from 5 per stack to 4 per stack. And the duration down from 5 to 4 seconds. So that's obviously her passive, I
Yep.
believe.
It is
Yep,
indeed.
so making her not able to move everywhere, be tanky as all hell, and have that for a really, really, really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Bludgeon,
Which is
basic
great.
attacks using hammer now do 33% lifesteal instead of 100%. Scourge, healing reduced from 30, 50, 70, 90, 110 to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. That is a nerf and a half.
It's
Thank
good.
God. Yeah,
It's good.
I don't care. I just don't want to play against her at all.
What are you thinking, Topnotch?
It's just okay. Nerfs were needed, but that is so much of a nerf, man. That is like, what is that? Less than half of what it originally was.
What?
Like,
They haven't touched to disarm.
yeah, I know. I mean, like, in regards to the disarm, I don't think anything's wrong with the disarm. But I mean, the heal was OP. There's no question about that. But it's not even existent anymore. Like, there is nothing going on there in regards to that. Like, sit in a fight and just heal through everything because I have Scourge up. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not even a thing anymore on Bologna.
I think it's good because she is a warrior.
I think people are so easy to jump on the rip wagon. DM Brandon T-list anyone where Sylvanas is so bad, he's so
Yeah.
bad now, you can't play him, and now he's literally like first pick, first ban.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think give it time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can speculate all you want, but just give it time. Let's see if it gets played in NA and
Yeah.
EU with the SBL. We'll
Because
see.
she's about to come up for availability for those championships, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
I think after
Yeah,
the
very
patch,
soon.
like today, yeah.
as soon as the patch comes out.
Yeah. I mean, like,
People just get used to someone. Oh, sorry. People just get used to someone being really OP, and then when they're
Yeah.
now brought back to a regular level of balance, then they just seems really crap. Like same with Osiris. People were saying Osiris is weak, and no, he still has a lot of good matchups.
yeah,
I'm just glad that something's going to be able to counter Bakasura.
Yeah.
The
which is
dream.
good.
Yeah, I mean, like, the points that I'm making are like consistent with what I was saying last week. I mean, she's still strong in that main purpose that she has, being like her disarm and her ability with her ultimate and everything like that. But I mean, I don't know, it just feels like overkill to me in that third ability nerf.
Alrighty, well, moving along to Nox. Nox's 2 ability, Knightfall Raven, has been touched up. The silence duration has been increased from 1, 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2, so gaining up to 2 seconds at rank 5 to 2 seconds at all ranks. Is this an important change to Nox, or is this just nothing really?
It's a start. I wish that they just not reverted her role, but just made it better. Because I really liked Nox. But her role right now is just... No, it's just not there.
Why? What's that?
It just takes way too long to charge up.
Oh, true. Yeah, in the cast time. I think the silence is good because it makes her early game a lot better, which is good.
Well, it's a nice change because there aren't really any other mid laners that silence. I'm thinking Isis, and that's basically it. So at least it gives her a reason to be picked. If for whatever reason you really want a silence, then that's good. Whereas, like, if they were just to buff something else of a kit, like, oh, let's buff her damage. It's like, there's already plenty of mid laners that have good damage. So I like that they're trying to give certain gods certain niches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, and finally, our last change for the week. Who's excited about this one? Shibalonke's base attack speed has gone down from 1 to 0.95.
It doesn't sound like much. I mean,
That's
it's
cute.
0.5, but that's 5%. That is 5% of his total DPS gone down. That's pretty huge when you think about it. Now, yeah.
So I
So
think that he'll be really good.
yeah, like nothing's changed on his branching bowlers, which is extremely strong about him, and like his poison dart wave clear is pretty good. And his mobility is also really good. Like if someone's running away, you just alt dash and you're basically on top of them.
I think they need to give him CC immunity back to just the last half of his dash. It's not good having it on all of it.
Yeah.
I feel like this nerf seems like a really small nerf, but it is still, that's his base attack speed, so any items you put on that are also going to be nerfed in regards to building Xbalanque. So it is actually going to be like quite a lot more significant than it initially seems just from reading a 0.5 reduce in base attack speed.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that much of him because he's just banned all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was like 100% ban rate on the weekend in the Cyber Gamer Finals.
Was he?
I think
Probably.
so.
I know
Surprised me.
Thor and Athena were
'Cause-
pretty much 99% ban rate.
Because, I mean, I don't remember you guys or Trident playing him in the first series, and he definitely was banned every game in the second series. And I feel like if he wasn't banned, he would have been picked.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty sure it was 100% ban rate on the weekend. So that's an important part, is making sure that the ban gets over there.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that they're like paying attention to how strong he is. Was, depending on how well. Like, it's hard to tell based on that number until you play him and then you find out, oh, he's actually really weak, or oh, this didn't really change much. But, yeah. I'll test him.
Alright, well, final topic that we're probably going to touch on tonight before we move into question time is the esports wiki profiles. Knightfall, this is your sort of thing, so take it away. Tell us all about this stuff.
So basically, Esportspedia have set up a Smite section. A couple people from Oceanic have already filled out the survey. It's pros, I think, yeah. So I created this one, Mr. Topnotch. Basically what they're doing is creating pro players for all of Smite. I mean, there's Ataraxias on there, and Andenster and all this. So here is Topnotches, and also Sporks is there too. Here is the Link
Region
Arena.
baseball.
Yeah, for everyone. And as you can see on the first page, there is Insight was picked up by Avant Garde. Whoa! I quite like
And-
this.
And now for the small hidden secret that Silicon Sports have been keeping hidden for so long, but now cannot no longer do so. Rana Barana is in fact from Mexico.
I didn't actually know that.
Really? I thought it was obvious. Have you ever heard him talk?
I have, but you know, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, Smart Esportspedia is like, if you're ever confused about a god or like a pro player, you just go on there and you get all the information you need. Like a lot of my fun facts from the weekend were from here. Like I just went like
The knowledge
top
bombs?
attack speed. Yeah, the knowledge bombs. I was like, Mercury has got the highest attack speed with 3.4. Anubis is the squishiest at level 20, but he's got all that
I think we all knew
lifesteal.
that.
He's got all that lifesteal to like make up for it. And damages when you friggin' hit a mummify and press 4. They're basically dead. But yeah, that's that.
I think it's cool. I think anything that can make Oceania seem more legitimate is awesome. I've said it before. That's why I love seeing those written articles that Silicon does about like a certain event or something, and that's why I hope we start to see more of it from more orgs, and I'm sure we will see it now from Avant Garde. We were talking earlier about immunity looking for writers. Like the more written content we can get, I mean even any content like video content. I mean, there's plenty of shoutcasts. That's not really an issue at this stage. But like guides, I think would be really cool coming out of top players. Like montages, just more content to get Oceania out there, and for people looking at it to think, yeah, these guys are legitimate. They're definitely a thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Shall we move on to questions, or shall I release the surprise of surprises?
Oh, oh,
I'm nervous now.
Knightfall's been preparing something.
Okay. So, guys, this has been in the works for longer than what I really wanted. But
Nervous.
t-shirts. Oh,
Hi.
t-shirts, guys. Now, you can cringe or you can go, oh, that's really funny. But here is the link.
You can even buy them.
You could
Yeah.
buy a t-shirt. Okay, so $5 from every t-shirt purchased is gonna go to charity. What? It's like a win-win-win for everyone, because you get a t-shirt. Kids around Australia, I'll grab the link to the charity that we're actually going to send all of it to. I forgot the name
I
of
believe
it.
we were discussing it last weekend on the podcast, actually.
We
So.
were indeed. I have it written down. It's the Children's Australian Children's Hospital something. It's a really long title and
something
very
like
difficult
that,
to
yep.
remember. Yeah, but if you would like to buy a t-shirt, and you would also like to help sick kids in Australia, then go ahead, you go buy one. If not, that's cool.
You're a bad person.
You're a terrible person. You don't want to help kids. What? Week 5.
But we'll get some more designs up there soon.
Yes.
Sporks, is there anything that like makes you a particular player? Is there anything exciting and unknown that we don't really know about you? Let's all check out his Esportspedia wiki page right now and see what we can find out about him.
Okay, so the Children's Hospital Foundations of Australia. See, it's really hard to remember. It's really long. This is the charity we are donating to. So these will be available all the time. If you not just like right now, it's open now. If you just click that link, Arena, I'll link it again just in case. And yeah, well, like Frank said, we'll get some designs up there. Me and Topnotch were talking about getting his face with salt underneath it up on there. That'd be pretty awesome. You guys could walk around with Topnotch's
You have a
face.
double jointed thumb, Sporks?
Yeah.
Come on, you should.
Oh.
Whoa.
Ah,
Oh.
Okay.
There you go. Trivia. Wow.
Alrighty.
Wow. Not something I would ever see or thought I would see about somebody on a wiki. There you go. I learned something.
I should add one more thing.
You also
But-
worked at Nando's. How was Nando's? I asked you the other day, and you're like, you didn't even
I
answer.
love Nando's. Can't go wrong with Nando's. It's just
I've never had Nando's. We don't have one here in Christchurch.
you are missing out. When you come to PAX, me and you are going to Nando's together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should all have we should all go to Nando's.
Oh, no, we can't
Podcast
go to
at Nando's.
Okay. We have to go to this there's a French sandwich shop that when I first come to Melbourne, one of my friends showed me. It is legit some of the best sandwiches you'll ever taste. With taking you all there.
Okay.
Then we're gonna
Better
walk
than
in with like
Subway?
30 people and yeah, better than Subway. We're gonna walk in with like 30 people behind us that are just like, yeah, this sandwich shop, yeah, this one. And they're just gonna be like, what the hell just happened? Where did all these people come from?
Should get them to sponsor the Australian Smite scene.
Do you guys reckon we should do a podcast at PAX?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
without a
that's
doubt.
cool.
Yes.
We could do a live one as well. That'd be even
Yeah.
better.
Like with a crowd and
We'll just
everything.
get a circle of chairs and I'll get somebody to stand with a camera in the middle. I'll walk around and talk to everyone slowly.
What do you guys in chat think? Do you think PAX podcast? Well, obviously,
How
it'd
did you actually do it though?
You get it streamed. Well,
Like-
you just use the same streaming production that are currently happening for like the game or whatever, but just for
Yep.
like a couple dudes sitting in a row talk about what happened at PAX and things, you know? I don't
Maybe
know.
we could
just
like
capture
ask Hi-Rez if we could do it on stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Probably could if we chatted to them and yeah.
That'd be
I mean,
awesome.
My
It's a
shout
great
for
idea.
sandwiches. No, I'm not paying for the sandwiches at PAX. You guys are paying for your own sandwiches.
would-
I have enough trouble paying for my own sandwiches.
I
Sandwich shop should sponsor me.
Yes, PAX podcast, special guest using. We'll
So
see.
who after tonight is keen to come to PAX Australia?
Raise
Me.
his hand. Me, dude.
Yes,
Oh, I'm
Callum, we
so-
met at PAX Australia.
Yay!
Internet
I
hype.
went to PAX last year. I didn't recognize any of you because
I was standing
Well,
there
it's
with
gonna
the
be cool.
microphone.
Because when I went there, like I didn't know anything. I knew rank from League of Legends stuff, and like and that was it. And then I met a couple of cool people like Killage and Switchbait. I think that's all I can really remember. But now there's like and this entire community of people that are just gonna like know each other, and it's gonna be like
Yeah.
so much like.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
walk
there's
past
someone-
someone and then someone will go, "Hey, Rank! Oh my God, yeah, hi!" And then like we'll all do that. What I'm really excited for is to walk like through PAX and someone would be like, "Oh my God, it's Knightfall!" Like, and
That's
then
by the way.
like that's what I'm like. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, is that gonna happen? Am I famous yet?" No. I still don't believe I'm famous. People always say I'm famous. It's like, no.
Just take their word for it.
I still don't believe it just yet. But yeah, PAX is gonna be so awesome, guys. Where you can actually like meet in person and go to Nando's or that sandwich place.
Mm.
Yeah. And then everyone will just like walk in and see like, do we know that guy? And Topnotch would be standing there just like, fucking hell, guys.
There's only one guy to be stupid enough to have blonde hair with a black beard. I don't think anyone will not recognize that.
And a bow tie. It suits
Yeah.
the bow tie.
Okay.
One thing I want
move
to talk
on?
about before we move on to questions, I guess we didn't really talk much about it. Is like how many viewers we got on the weekend stream.
Oh yeah.
Like
I mean,
we were rocking like 80 for a while, and that's
I'm
really
pretty
cool.
sure we hit 90 at one point. Like I saw a 9. It
Probably
was
89.
Yeah. It's close enough, close enough. But yeah, like that was amazing. And Cyclone Spin was there. What?
And Shadow Q.
Was he?
And Unique.
And Unique.
Who did Killage pay out?
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool that like it's sort of progressive our scene improving. Like the first sort of streams we did were getting like 30 viewers, and then like each sort of event we would like generally get more and more viewers on the stream, and it's pretty cool. I think it's
no-
motivating for everyone, the viewers, the
And-
casters, the
I mean,
players.
casters especially, like when you look in the chat and you're just like, that guy is a pro somewhere else and he's listening to us.
Yeah. Like
My favorite player in the history of esports so far is Elements, who used to be the support for Curse in League of Legends, and he heard me cast one time, and I literally flipped out. I stopped controlling the stream properly. I left it on the end game screen and was typing messages to all my friends, like flipping out that Elements was watching, and everyone was glad
smooth.
no one did that on the weekend.
I was fangirling a little. I was like, oh my god, I want to type. And then like I was spectating at the same time while you guys were casting. And I was like, don't panic, stay on target. Yeah.
Ooh, who's my favorite Oz Smite player? Notch.
Yeah.
We have a relationship. We just chat like all the time. He ever has a problem, he messages me, and I reply with salt.
We're legit best buds though. So that's
I can
why.
hear the wedding bells already.
Don't say that too loud. My fiance might hear.
Should we extend that to everyone else?
Yeah.
Sporks.
Who's Sporks? Who's your best friend?
Who's your favorite Smite player in Oz?
Mm, Biggie, probably.
Biggie.
I don't know if that feeling's mutual. So.
What about you, Machine?
I haven't really thought about it, but I started fanboying pretty hard on the stream over Rawaka Sylvanas. Like that was epic.
Oh,
That was pretty good.
Oh.
That was scary.
I was sweating a lot.
So everyone learned their lesson to ban Sylvanas against Satire on the weekend, right?
Just ban Sylvanas.
Full stop.
Yeah, pretty much. Just ban Sylvanas.
Mine's Row.
Actually, I think one thing we should all mention is like the I think what's really exciting about the scene as well is the definition of top tier is increasing. Like for a while it was
Yeah.
kind of like Insight Trident, Silicon, and now it's like it's also like anti-alias Heteroi. So now it's like top 5.
I think there's also a lot of teams who didn't make it into the invitational ladder or the
Yeah.
tournament this weekend that have a lot of skill.
Hmm.
So it's always nice to see that.
Yeah, definitely like Slap and Tickle, Illustrius 5, they're huge teams coming into the competitive scene now.
Which is good. It's great to see. But still, going back to that other question, Row. Okay, so here's why. So Row was on NA and he got to Diamond 1. Like that there is like, oh my god, how did you do that, right? Well, he did play solo. Which is like, I don't know how hard it is, but yeah. 300 ping, and then he was that 300 ping. And then when OCE servers came out, he was that 50 ping. And ever since NA servers, he's been like, I'm going to get competitive. I'm going to get out there, make a team, make the best team in Australia, and then I'm going to get my dream sponsor. And he did it.
Coming true.
Like, you guys did it. And like Ro was there, and you guys were all there. I remember when you guys were flaming dragons, flaming
The good old-
dragons
I remember that.
in the 3v3.
One of my first Joust tournament.
Yeah, that was cool.
I remember
And-
I remember Vanguard.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Back in the
That
good
was
old-
Way,
Dang.
way back.
Come on,
But
anyone
yeah.
got some questions in the chat quickly whilst we're like just filling time?
Yeah.
Anyone got
Also-
anything?
I want to give a huge shout out to Ro because he does a lot for our team. Like a lot. He theory crafts, he just does a lot of things.
Hmm.
It's nice to have someone that does that.
He's a cool guy too. He's real
Yeah.
nice. Is he watching? I hope he's
I don't
watching.
know. Yeah, I hope he's watching.
He's
I would've
watching.
commented by
Shout
now.
outs to Ro. Everyone.
Yeah.
Like,
Shout
everyone-
outs to Oro.
yeah.
Everyone get his signature at PAX. Do it, and then he'll like go international, and you'll be like, I got shit signed by Ro.
And he'll be playing on NA servers without 300 ping.
He should change his name back to that 300 ping. Like just during that.
Why is
I wanna
everyone
ask
wearing
why-
suits? Yeah,
Because
that one.
Josh did it and Rank did it, and then
I'll get out
I
of the
felt
camera
peer
now.
pressured to do so.
It was like
Yeah.
a challenge between me and Notch. Notch was just like, I'm gonna go dress up fancy for this podcast. I was like, I'm gonna beat you and dress up fancier.
Pretty much.
And then like it turned into a thing.
And now we all have
And then I-
competitions.
I got
my
one
God.
up this week. I got one up.
Yes, Ro. There is the Ro.
The Ro. Oh, he's chatting in my chat, guys.
Oh, you
Oh
should
my
get him to sign
God.
something. Sporks, will you sign my fiance at PAX?
With consent, yes.
I'm just gonna walk around and like
I
my
should start
fiance's gonna have like a
practicing my
white
signature
shirt on and just be like signature here everywhere. Have we talked about the lands yet or not? Sort of. We don't know exactly which lands there will be yet, but we just know that there will be lands.
Yeah, I'm a CG admin. I don't even know. It's just, yeah, we don't know yet. And when we do
there
find
is-
out,
There's
what
Araflan in Perth. Aren't you doing one in Melbourne Rank with?
does
The
does it
Switch
count
Bay
towards the
next
thing there?
weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, we're doing one, but we're only running either I think a 3v3, a joust tournament there, just to see if we can get something going. I think at the moment it's just like everyone's sort of putting their feelers out into the waters, and then we'll sort of have a better idea. Lands are probably not going to go all that well. Like, we're not going to get enough numbers that's going to be like a really
Yeah.
good team. So
That's what I'm concerned about. That's why, like, I thought at Araflan we were just gonna do like, just like Joust or something. But if this leads to like qualifying for stuff, then like it's obviously gonna be Conquest. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. But I know like at least Araflan's actually gonna be sponsored by Hire It, so there's probably gonna be like prizes and stuff. Which is
Really?
cool. Yeah.
and I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
like-
Respawn, which is the one that we're doing in 2 weeks' time, is going to be identical. So
Yeah, there'll be
But-
a few of them around the country for sure. Probably New Zealand as well.
we are definitely getting sponsorship by Hi-Res, but I'm pretty sure we're still going to go to the Joust just because it's only a 220 person LAN, which is
Oh, wow.
hugely down from
Araflan's
what
like
Respawn.
700.
Yeah. Respawn's the same. So like just to get a competition at that, because this is the first time they've had to switch spaces, and this is only an interim space. so that they
So-
can run a LAN and keep keep everyone interested. So
My issue with RFLAN is they haven't been advertising it. Like, if you go on the website, they have like a Smite on the schedule, but like they haven't made any posts about it or anything. And then like I've messaged some of the admins like, hey guys, can you advertise that you're actually running a Smite tournament? Like, oh yeah, and they haven't yet, so I've got to follow it up again. But I think like the problem is like no one's gonna know that they're doing Smite until sort of they get there, and it's like, oh, they're doing Smite, that's cool. But unfortunately, I'm already playing CS:GO with my friends, so I think like
Okay.
the first.
here we go. We actually got thanks to Prenzel in the chat. Smite Oceania Split 1 LAN events. Here are the Split 1 LAN events. WA RF LAN.
How do
Good
I
way,
not know
it's like-
about this?
April 11th to 12th, New South Wales, Wengyu LAN Cafe. I know the owner of Wengyu, and I've been there. It's an absolutely lovely place. So that's going to be held on April 25th. In Queensland, LAN Smash on April 11th to 12th. MC LAN, Mid City LAN in Melbourne, Victoria, on May 23rd. So I'll probably be there and live casting that one. If you are in Melbourne, come along, say hi. For the guys in Western Australia, go to Red Flag LAN. Even if you aren't taking a PC, jump down, see Topnotch, see Mason, see Callum, and also Blake will also be there.
No,
You
Super
take
Breakers. It's casted me like twice.
Okay, you're taking Blake though. Please take Blake.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And finally, in New Zealand, Ping Zero LAN, and I know the guys that run Ping Zero, and they're fantastic as well. In Auckland on April 10th to 12th.
It's in Auckland though. Rip me. Oh. It's so far away. Why can't I live in somewhere other than
Ooh.
Christchurch?
Knightfall and I had a
Okay.
really intense conversation about whether it'd be possible to swim in between the North and South Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer was no, by the way. You can't
It's
do it.
you.
That kind
You
of-
could attempt it.
Huh?
You wouldn't want to though.
And then here's some more stuff. LAN centers. These guys will be holding tournaments regularly around the country. So Guff is the main one because they have stores in 6 locations in Australia, 3 in Melbourne, within Geelong, Ballarat, and Werribee. Another one just outside of Melbourne, about an hour away, Shepparton. Launceston in Tasmania and Brisbane will all have they all have Guffs, and Guff are an absolutely fantastic company. The way they run their internet cafes, they're clean, they're social. At the same time, they've got that really Aussie feel to them, without being dirty dingy. Because like the other LAN centers that I've been to have been like dirty dingy, except for Wengyu. Wengyu's another really good high quality run internet cafe. And they're in Sydney, and they'll be running regular tournaments, as well as iPlay Internet Cafe. And I've been to iPlay in Auckland, and it is also another really good one. So, and then finally, casual Smite LAN tournaments. This one's the first one, Respawn LAN Lantheon, which is the one that is happening next weekend. If you're in Melbourne, jump down and say hello to us. I'll be sitting in the immunity stand with an immunity computer. So thanks to those guys. March 28th, 29th, and also Landslide, which will also be in Melbourne on April 10th to 12th. So there's so much on that April 10th to 12th weekend. So much.
Mhm.
Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? 4 lands that weekend that we're running Smite tournaments.
Yes.
It's gonna be crazy. Too many tournaments. Wow.
They talked about this earlier. What did we talk about? Oh yeah, we did.
It's good to see that there will be Smite events happening because people see it and people are starting to realize that, like, yeah, Smite's coming huge. People should jump on the bandwagon.
It's nearly 1 a.m. here, and I have a class at 10 o'clock.
Alright, we better let you go.
No. I'll stay. I'm just saying, dedication, boys.
Yeah, I think it's
Understand.
all like, it's the same for all of us. Like, I've been sitting up lately and just sitting here and enjoying like SPL videos and stuff like that at 3, 4, 5 a.m. when I'm just sitting up. And all of a sudden I'm hooked in these videos, and then I'm staying up till, I might be planning to go to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. and all of a sudden 5 a.m. hits. I'm just like, oh crap, been watching videos too long. So that, yeah.
Just
we
one
can
more,
obviously-
just one more video before I go to bed.
Yeah. And then that
And
leads
to
on
see
to
how the
another
series
one.
ends.
Okay, something for Twitch chat. What content would you guys like to see in the way of guides from these players? And whilst we're waiting for Twitch chat to respond, what content do you guys really want to start potentially doing
I've actually started making god guides in the solo lane. I'm yet to actually start putting them out, and I know that when Max is coming back, we were going to start running some like early level like beginner guides to like jungle routes and things like that, because I know that is an area of attention that's definitely needed in the Smite scene. Like people seem to ask for a lot is like what to do as a jungler, because I know it's
jungle's brutal.
quite an intimidating role to just come into with no knowledge. And we are definitely going to be working on that to put out through Silicon Sports and things like that. So it's definitely coming.
Yeah, and jungle is like it's really punishing. Like if you know what you're doing, because then like mid lane is like jungle, I need my buff, and then solo is like I need my buff, and jungle's like ah. So there's a lot of pressure like for the the whole team on the jungler. So I think though those guards are definitely help, as it is going to be quite intimidating to get into.
You want to see an ADC? I'm an ADC.
Get
Just
better than
saying.
Knightfall.
I'm
Get
sorry.
better.
I've been practicing my Ula. It actually went pretty well. I went 11-0 earlier. Get on my level. Anyways.
Ward placement. That's interesting guide. That's not something touched on very often.
That's actually a good point. Because there's spots around Gold Fury where if you place it, you can still see the Gold Fury and not have it seen by a Sentry Ward.
Get in here, Ro. Yeah, I think we're looking at having Ro on in the future. Ro's Sporks, you shouted out about him earlier. He's just fantastic.
Yeah. I think if we got Ro on here, I would fangirl pretty hard. I'd have to leave for a moment. I'd have
Do you
to
have a
leave.
Ro shirt in the works already?
A Ro shirt. Oh,
A rowboat.
that's a that's a thing I could do. Ro the almighty and powerful. Yeah. What else? It doesn't count when you're on a Smurf. Hey. Shh. Shh. Who else?
How to be cool as a cucumber? Topnotch. How are you as cool as a cucumber?
This is meant to ask.
This is the wrong man to ask. I lose my shit, dude.
I feel a fridge is a good place to be cool.
The jokes tonight. The jokes tonight.
Is it really a joke though?
Yeah? Didn't
Could
hear
you
the
really call it that?
Yes. It's a joke.
What are the specifications for something to be a joke?
Walk around the map.
I'd like to see the rules, please.
Let's
We
ask
should get
Wikipedia.
Biggie on. Is Biggie still here? We could
I'm not sure.
Biggie.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
here. Would you like to come on for like a couple moments? And then we can like just extend this longer.
I thought you were complaining about how late it was.
I wasn't complaining, I was just noting.
One more guest, don't worry.
Sporks is
'Cause-
like madly trying to get Biggie on right now.
For those of you who don't know, which is pretty much everyone, we're going to try and keep it at 5, because otherwise it's really difficult to get through a podcast with like 6 people, because the conversation becomes way too like clustered and things. But yeah, 5 is like our limit. But when we would get 6, it would only be for a short while, for like an interview or something. So yeah, I think we should create like a time schedule of each week of which guests we're gonna have.
Yeah, well, we're looking into that because we're still trying to plan ahead. Like,
Yeah.
we weren't even sure who would have them on the podcast this week. We knew that we were planning to get Smitten in, and then we were like, well, we haven't heard from Smitten in a while.
Yeah.
And there's tournament info to talk about. So,
It's difficult. It's hard when they say they want to come on, but then after you say, "Oh, awesome! When would be the best time for you?" and they don't respond, it's kind of
who from High Res said they were coming?
Pon.
Pon.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'd love to," and then I'm like, "Sure, we usually do on Sundays and things," and then he didn't reply, and I was like, "Oh, I cry over Tim."
I think we're
Pon
looking
Pon's really
at
cool.
Who?
a few
Like-
people on.
Pon, yeah.
Yeah, like what he was the very first stream I ever watched of Smite. And what really impresses me, this is like basically in stark contrast to Topnotch, is because he's obviously like a high res employee. he can't like get mad and like yell at people and shit. So like he's always so like self-critical. Like even when his team is absolutely trash and like you can just tell how bad they are. Like he'll have this thing like he almost like carries this entire like 1v4 or something, and then he's like, oh man, if only I did this better, we wouldn't have lost if I did this thing better. Even though like yeah, his team was just terrible and like he carried so hard. He never tries to like blame it on the other people. He always tries to be critical and think of how he could have improved and what he could have done better.
Definitely. He's very analytical.
Yeah, and he has a lot of like knowledge bombs as well.
Yeah. Knightfall got friend zoned by Bon Bon. I did indeed. I also got friend zoned by Smitten.
Oh,
Rip.
I'd never do that to you.
cry
Thanks,
all the
Sporks.
time.
I just hope I don't get friend zoned by Ro. But I feel it's gonna happen. I just need to not overdo it and hide my feelings.
Speak yourself.
It's okay. Do you think Ro will like me better if I ask him to sign my fiance as well?
I'm not sure. I'll leave that up to him to decide. Don't want to speak for him.
It's probably an appropriate place to call in for the night. Boys, you got any
Yeah.
final statements?
Thank you all for supporting us.
Who wants to play this week's Smite Sunday Scrims? It's been like a 3-week break because of the CG events. I don't have any teams confirmed yet.
That's
so
my fault.
It's your fault, Knightfall. Yeah, so Smite Sunday Scrims, it's a every Sunday, basically a streamed event with gem prizing. So it's a good way to get teams involved and stuff. I might be having, I think, Illustrius 5 on, which would be cool for a new team. But I'm going to link the doc again. So basically, you sign your team up, and then I try and find like closely matched teams to have a scrim. So pretty cool stuff. Bear with me.
Cool. Also,
Whilst I
shout
find
out
the link.
to Avant Garde for picking us up and for giving us the opportunity to represent the name. It's a great honor.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, them sponsoring
Harlequin will play.
like,
Awesome.
the
That's cool.
best team in such a, I want to say small, but it's not really small anymore. It's getting a lot bigger. The community.
Sorry, did I
like-
just hear you say best team was Avant Garde when there's an immunity guy sitting right here?
I think
Ooh.
yes. Well, statistically, the best team. We'll find out.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. That's what I love though, is like the rivalry in Australian esports between IM and Avant Garde. It's amazing and it hypes up the matches so much, and it just adds this another little layer there, because like each team when they play is just like, we have to beat Avant Garde, have to beat them, and then the Avant Garde guys are like, we have to beat IM, we can't lose to IM, they're IM. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, anything from you, Mr. Top of Notches?
No, I think it's great to see everyone constantly supporting this this weekly podcast, or belated weekly podcast that we've been trying to do. It's good seeing the same people come in here and also some new faces.
Yeah.
Mm. Thanks to all the new faces for tuning in.
Yeah. And this will be
Yeah.
up on YouTube probably tomorrow or Friday, depending. But yeah.
Alright guys, well I think it's time to say it from all our guests here, and Sporks, big thank you for coming on this week.
It's my pleasure.
Alright, to the rest of the guys, thank you once again.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Alright,
Yeah.
fortunately guys, it is time to say it. It's gonna be goodbye for now, but not forever, and we'll see you next time.